Hello and a happy Sunday to you. It is Sunday the 9th of October and welcome to the Big Magazine. It's your nice relaxed look around our area. Let's see what we've got for your Sunday. Oh yes, it's Sunday, so in a few moments we're going to cross to the big news team to see what they've been reporting on during this week. A little later on, Des and Gary will see what's on for Sunday. Carl will be here with his look at this week's film news and charts, and we'll find out what's up on this week's community notice board as well. Oh, we're going to see how you've been connected with us as well recently. So it's all to come within the pages of Sunday's Big Magazine. So then, it's over to Big Centre's newsroom now for a look back at what's been going on in our area this week.
Last Saturday at Birmingham's Millennium Point, a coding event called Hack the Midlands was held, also known as a hackathon or Hackfest. It brought together around 100 students, computer programmers, graphic designers and software developers to collaborate and compete on 24-hour software projects.
The way that I always describe hackathons is it's like a 24-hour invention marathon. So people from pretty much across the country, they come along and they will get ideas from sponsors, so like inspiration. They might set challenges, for example. So we've got Majestic, who set a challenge to use their API. They'll come along and they will spend the 24 hours from 12 to 12 roughly, creating something, like designing, imagining, kind of creating something and then present it at the end. So logistically, we're doing that as like a science fair. So we'll go around and we will kind of assess them. They will present to us just individually, and then we will have the best ones presenting on the big screen.
Hackathons are also places where talented students can find their future employer. Companies which support these events are very interested to find new talents, and it's the best place to demonstrate your skills and knowledge to a potential employer.
It's definitely a way to get a job. I know, because I managed to get a job from it last year. It doesn't only increase your job prospects because you're meeting people that are in the industry, but it's also really good because it shows that you can work in a team. You can usually use stuff that's like collaborative, so like Git, version control, and also it shows that you've probably gained a lot of skills from that.
I think there's two things. One of them is that we're kind of looking for our employees of tomorrow. The other aspect is that we're a local company, we're headquartered in Birmingham, and we like to support the Birmingham tech community. We feel ourselves as being part of the Birmingham tech community, and this form of outreach is a way of just connecting with the wider audience.
And one thing that really strikes me as the positive side of hackathons is, well, threefold really. Firstly, that you get to meet so many new people. Secondly, that you get to learn so much and build really cool stuff in a really short space of time. And thirdly, that you do get in contact with people who potentially might give you a job or an internship or just further your career in some way.
A great example of a successful result of Hackathon is Bhishma Patel and his colleague. They participated in Birmingham's Hackathon some years ago, and today they're here to support the event and present their new software project, School of Code.
The hackathons are really great because they really give a social place for people to get together. A lot of these hackers or participants really want a way to express their ideas and go and do some really intense sort of building. So the great thing about the hackathons is that you start with nothing, and within 24 hours you've got something demonstratable, usable, showable, and something you can be proud of. And it's really a great insight into how team dynamics work generally, but also in computer programming, because you can be highly efficient to get something done within 24 hours. And it shows that coding is a social thing. It's not just something to be done by yourself, but to be done in groups and teams or pairs.
The Big Taste Food Market is a yearly event that continues to prove extremely popular with the residents of Solihull and those further afield. It's a great opportunity for the public to view live cooking from Solihull's talented chefs and baristas and experience different tastes and aromas from around the world, as well as enjoy live music and take part in games and competitions.
So the Big Taste Festival is now in its 6th year, and it's a food and beer festival for Solihull Town Centre. The main difference with our food festival, as opposed to lots of other festivals across the country, is that our festival celebrates the food and drink of the people that currently are here 52 weeks of the year. So all of our businesses that trade here all the time in Solihull, we invite them to come out and showcase what they do really, really well. So every business who has a restaurant or a coffee shop or a bar in Solihull Town Centre, they're all invited to take part, and it's those that actually step forward and say, yes, we want to. And as the BID, as the Business Improvement District, we fund that for them. So all of the gazebos, all of the hand wash units, all of the tables, all of the branding is all funded by Solihull BID. The feedback from the general public that visits the market, particularly if they've been for the first time, is they can't believe the wealth of variation, the diverse range of restaurants and coffee shops and bars that we have in Solihull.
It seems that more and more townsfolk are taking a greater interest in independent businesses and the local shops opening on their high streets. Solihull Business Improvement District are working to smooth out the large differences between chains and the independent shops in Solihull.
We are working on the fact that we don't have as many independents as we want. We'd like to see a lot more independents invest in the town centre, and there are plans to do that. There's lots of development going on currently on Drury Lane, and that's where we aim to attract some more independent retailers, especially restaurateurs, independent coffee shops and things like that. That will all start to be coming into Solihull so that we actually change the dynamic.
An exhibition of photographs showing West Bromwich in the Second World War, which are due to appear in a new book, are on display at the former public building in the town centre. Many of the pictures had been collected by local historian Stan Wilkes, who recently passed away.
And for many years he collected lots and lots of material and people's reminiscences, and his intention was to write this book. Sadly, the last 10 years of his life he wasn't very well. In fact, he was dogged by ill health. So when he passed away, he made a bequest in his will that money should be given to West Bromwich Local History Society and this book should be done.
The exhibition shares some of the material and also reveals the experiences of two local individuals who inspired the project, Stan Wilkins and Albert Wilkes. Stan Wilkins was a local jazz band drummer in West Bromwich until he went to India in 1943 at the age of 21. And Albert Wilkes was 36 when war broke out. His father was a former Villa footballer who had set up a photographic business in the town, focusing on sports photography. And Albert followed in his footsteps. He was first called up to an Army Ordnance Unit, then applied for a transfer to the Army Film and Photographic Unit, and was allocated to follow General Montgomery and British troops all the way from the Normandy landings to Berlin. And he produced a remarkable collection of photographs, some of which are in the Imperial War Museum, but many, such as these here, have never been seen before in public. Lily Willits joined the Land Army at the age of 17. Here she is pictured in 1943 with a make, do and mend coat, which was made from a grey army blanket.
Well, we had no coupons to buy any clothes with at the time, and my mum bought a blanket off somebody and took me to a lady's house down Stony Lane in West Brom. I always remember her name, it was Mrs. Farrington. And she made me this coat out of that blanket. I think it was an officer's blanket because it wasn't an army blanket as I knew an army blanket, brown, khaki coloured and all that sort of thing. This was more grey, so it was quite a nice coat.
Now, part of the exhibition has got this fantastic collection of then and now photographs. So here's a montage of some of the best.
and we've got a number of events happening, workshops, activities, talks relating to the project in general, but the culmination will be the production of Stan's book, if we want to call it that.
Right then, still to come, Des and Gary will find out what's on for Sunday, and Carl will run down the film chart and cast an eye over this week's new film releases. I'll see you in a few minutes. Welcome back. It's the Big Magazine with you for a Sunday here on Big Centre. Still to come, Carl's going to be here with the film news. We'll see what's up on the community notice board as well, and we're going to take a look at how you've been connecting with us this week. It's all to come later in the show. But first, let's find out what's on for Sunday. Here's Des and Gary.
Now, there seems to be a massive revival of vinyl going on just now, and the Robin 2 in Bilston are holding a record and CD fair today with both new and used bargains available. Vinyl.
Yeah.
I hear kids talking about it on Johnny Doom's show, and I said to him the other week, I said, when I grew up, that was the only thing we had.
Well, gone full circle.
Yeah.
Full circle.
Still the best.
Yeah. At the Old Joint Stock Theatre, 50 Ways to Leave Your Drummer. Oh, brilliant. Started when storytelling comedian drummer Paul Richards misheard the lyrics to a Paul Simon song and wondered, is it possible to be fired by 50 bands? You know that, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
You're probably in the Guinness Book of Records for that one. What started as a bit of fun with some local bands soon turned into a project that took over his life. With Ian Anderson from the brilliant Jethro Tull, Heaven 17, Frank Turner, Nick Kershaw, John Otway, Graham Parker, and comedy genius Arthur Smith, and 43 other acts, all well willing indeed to brutally dispense of course services. Fantastic. That sounds incredible.
That's a great idea.
Go and see it. Fantastic.
Especially for games anoraks and geeks. You know who you are. And based on one of the most popular and beloved video game series of all time, the Symphony Hall presents Symphony of the Goddesses, featuring live orchestral performances of the theme music from Nintendo's The Legend of Zelda.
I love their chicken. Nintendo's. They do great chicken. Lemon and herb, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I know, don't go for the 3 chilies. And a giant screen showing the most memorable moments of the series will be in action. Okay.
Fair enough.
That floats your boat.
And as part of Birmingham Literature Festival's Teen Takeover, internationally acclaimed poet Holly McNish is at the Birmingham Rep. Now, she's an unmissable and unmistakable spoken word performer with a massive following. Described by Birmingham's own Benjamin Zephaniah as someone he can't take his ears off. She recorded her first official album, Verses at Abbey Road Studios in London, making her the first poet ever to record there.
Good on her. Yeah. Now, gigs tonight then from County Sligo. Dervish play the Lichfield Guildhall. Jane MacDonald is at the New Alexander Theatre.
Is she off that boat yet?
Dutch pop rock legends Focus play the Robin 2. And Brooklyn singer-songwriter Nell Bryden is at the Glee. And here's her Wayfarer. Time to say goodbye.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Watching the world changing, watching the people fight with each other. Where did it all go wrong? When did it all start crumbling down? I'm the wayfarer. Watch me now, watch me. Please don't fail me now. Don't fail me. Heart keep beating out. Keep beating. Not everyone who wanders is lost. I'm the wayfarer. I'm the wayfarer. Whoa, whoa. I hear your voice whisper, even when all the cables sleep. I'm the shapeshifter, never rest until I'm free. Where did it all go wrong? When did it all start crumbling down? I hear your voice whisper, watch me now, watch me.
And Des and Gary will be back here on Big Centre with a look at what's on for the coming week, tonight at 7, as well as during Big News all this week. So then, time for a look at this week's new film releases, as well as the movie chart. It's time for the Big Picture Bite Size. Here's Carl Jones.
Thanks very much, Lee. Well, it's time now to take our regular weekend look at what's hot and maybe what's not at our local cinemas in the Big Centre region. There's no doubting which movie everyone is talking about right now, when it comes to new films on the screen at least, and that's The Girl on the Train. Emily Blunt stars in this screen adaptation of last year's best-selling book, which is all about a woman who turns to the bottle when her marriage hits the rocks and she ends up getting caught up in a murder mystery. Well, I've got to be honest about this. The film isn't half as energetic or as tense as the trailer makes it look, and having not read the book, I'm guessing the whodunit after about half an hour, which is never really the great thing. I had high hopes, but I was quite disappointed. Although, having said that, Emily Blunt does make a fabulous drunkard. Also new in the cinemas this weekend is War on Everyone. Now, this film is from the same director who's brought us black comedies like The Guard and Calvary over the last few years. This time, Alexander Skarsgård and Michael Penner play a couple of corrupt cops who are trying to line their pockets by double-crossing a crime lord, but finding out that it's not quite as easy as they hoped. If you like a mix of jet black humour, shocking violence and some good buddy banter, this one's definitely worth a look. Or how about Supersonic, turning back the clock to the 1990s to chart the rise of the band Oasis from the council estates in Manchester to the top of the charts. That one's also new at cinemas right now. Take a look at the trailer.
In 3 years, Oasis will have gone from being a new signing to one of rock's true giants.
What happened to you in those 3 years? So it's a big question.
It is a big question. And it deserves a big answer. We're just lads from a council estate. Two brothers.
No, it's the funny farm.
Head cases. Nobody had heard of us, but we had spirit. We never gave up. One night, everything changed.
There is a story about you getting signed to Creation. Alan McGee saw you in the club, is that right?
I did, yeah. He signed us there and then on the spot.
No one had ever come along that was even remotely like us.
Their debut album is already the classic of our time.
Then it just blew up.
The most popular rock and roll band in Britain today.
Oasis were involved in a drunken brawl.
Immediately condemned by politicians.
The day that it steps over into the tabloids, then you've gone to the dark side. Trouble seemed to find us.
It all happened too quick.
Oasis was like a Ferrari. Great to look at, great to drive. Oasis's greatest strength was me and Liam. It's also what drove the band into the ground in the end.
Give it up for Oasis.
One of the biggest bands since the Beatles.
It just caught fire all over the world.
Dance if they wanna dance, please, brother, take a chance.
It was just a great time to be alive. It was biblical, man. I'd do it all again in that heartbeat.
Sometimes I wish it had gone a different way, but it hasn't.
I just think in the times in which we live, it would be unrepeatable.
If this ever goes on like a video, I would apologise, but I'm not going to.
Finally then, let's take a quick look at the charts. Now, hanging on at number 5, it's the Pixar animation Finding Dory, which seems to have been around for quite some time now. At number 4, Denzel Washington leads the new look Magnificent Seven, alongside the likes of Ethan Hawke and Chris Pratt. At 3, the explosive true story Deepwater Horizon. And at 2, Tim Burton's fantasy Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. But none of the latest releases can budge Renee Zellweger from the top spot. Bridget Jones's Diary is still number 1 across the West Midlands. I'll be back with more movie news in our bite-sized big picture every weekday on Big Centre.
Thank you, Carl. And he's here at the same time every week. And of course, there's more from Carl every day of the week in the Big Picture Bite Size. OK, we're going to take a short break now. But when we come back, we'll look at the community notice board. And as ever, we'll be seeing what you've been saying to us as well. I'll see you in a few minutes.
Hello, my name is Reverend Jim and I'm the minister at St Matthew's Church in Walsall. This spring and summer there will be parties and events throughout this country and the Commonwealth as we celebrate Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II's 90th birthday. Last year we celebrated her achievement of becoming the longest reigning British monarch. However, it spoke volumes about our Queen that she chose not to mark the event as special but to carry on with her normal day-to-day activities. In the Christian Bible, Paul writes to his friends in Philippi and tells them to have the same attitudes to other people as Jesus Christ had. It is written in a passage which talks about how we relate to other people and society around us. He talks about having a humble attitude. One aspect of the Queen's character that I admire so much is her humility. But what does being humble actually mean? The writer C.S. Lewis put it like this: true humility is not thinking less of yourself, it is thinking of yourself less. It's very easy to be proud, but that isn't being humble. But it's also very easy to have a low opinion of ourselves, and that isn't being humble either. Being humble does not mean being spineless, feeble, lifeless, or dreary, and so on. Rather, it is about generosity of spirit, generosity of money, time and effort, and so on. Something we see so much of in our reigning monarch, a great example to us all. There's a children's joke that goes like this: what is the first thing a king or a queen does when they come to the throne? They sit down. But actually that was not true for our Queen. If you look at the coronation service, you see something different. The text of the coronation service makes it clear what actually happened. Whilst a song was being sung, the Queen processed through the church up towards the throne. But then she passed her throne and knelt at a prayer stool on the south side of the altar and said some short private prayers. Only after that did she sit down in her throne. And it's clear that whilst the Queen may be our head of state, she is also a woman of great faith who recognises her own personal calling. The title of a recent book about Her Majesty reflects that, and it's called The Servant Queen and the King She Serves. Unusually, the Queen has written the foreword inside the front of the book, and in it she says, "As I enter my 91st year, I remain eternally grateful to God for his steadfast love. I have seen his faithfulness to me as I have sought to serve." It's appropriate that we should celebrate the life and work of our Queen on this special birthday, and that we should give thanks for her life of humility and service. But we should not forget it's also a life all followers of Jesus are called to lead. Indeed, it's a life we would all do well to emulate.
So then, let's have a look at what's happening in our area as we turn to the community notice board. I thought Natalie was coming back this week.
Well, she can be if you want. Hang on. Maybe not. Right, OK. And of course, if you have some local news or information that you'd like us to mention, then please do get in touch, but give us plenty of notice.
If you do want to get in touch, then, as always, we'll tell you how in a few minutes' time.
Now, over 1,000 people have been registered to take part in a Guinness World Record attempt for the largest Taekwondo display.
Taekwondo?
I think it might be that.
OK.
Might be.
The event will be happening in Coventry City Centre on Sunday the 16th of October at 12 o'clock midday, and they'll be raising money for the Rainbow Trust, which is the end-of-life children's charity.
Participants are getting sponsorship to take part as part of the fundraising for the charity. A collection on the day will also be happening.
Stuart Pearson, the event organiser and Taekwondo enthusiast, did break the record in 2013, but was beaten by an attempt in India in 2013 that featured 580 people.
There are over 50 Taekwondo clubs in Coventry, and most of them have descended from Grandmaster Ree's initial 12 Taekwondo black belts, who then went on to teach the practice to others.
That's quite impressive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, people in Wolverhampton are being reminded how to report incidents of hate crime as this year's National Hate Crime Awareness Week approaches.
Hate crime is any criminal offence committed against a person or property which is motivated by an offender's hatred of someone because of their race, colour, ethnic origin or nationality, their religion, their gender or gender identity, their sexual orientation or their disability.
Yeah, it can take many forms, from physical attacks such as assault, damage to property, offensive graffiti and arson, to verbal abuse or insults, or the threat of attack, including the sending of offensive letters, emails or texts, abusive or obscene telephone calls, or malicious complaints.
There are a number of ways that victims of or witnesses to an incident can report hate crime.
You can call the police on 101 or dial 999 or 112 if it's an emergency.
You can contact Crime Stoppers anonymously on 0800 555 111 or crimestoppers-uk.org.
Visit websites such as West Midlands Police or the True Vision website at www.report-it.org.uk and fill in the online form, which will be forwarded to the police for investigation.
If an incident occurs on a train or the Midland Metro, text British Transport Police on 61016.
If the incident is Islamophobic in nature, you can visit tellmamauk.org, which is MAMA, stands for Measuring Anti-Muslim Attacks, or call 0800 456 1226.
If the incident is anti-Semitic, it can be reported via Community Security Trust's website, which is cst.org.uk, or by calling 0208 457 9999.
Now, National Hate Crime Awareness Week takes place from the 8th to the 15th of October, and for more information and to get any of those details, again, there's plenty of them, you can visit www.stophateuk.org.
Now, good news from our local libraries. Julie McCurdy from Thimblemill Library has won the prestigious Public Library Champion of the Year award from the Chartered Institute of Library and Information Professionals. It's an award which recognises the achievements of outstanding frontline public library staff that make a real difference to the people who use their library.
Julie works as a library supervisor at Thimblemill Library, and the award was made in addition to her receiving the British Empire Medal from the Queen earlier this year. Now, over recent months, she's turned the local library into a community and cultural hub, giving local people access to arts and creative events, and basically transforming her branch library into a vibrant venue of choice.
Her varied programme includes live music, performance storytelling, a charity quiz night, daily free hot meals for anyone in the local community with need, and the Thimblemill has the Wow Factor talent contest. Julie has connected with other organisations to help deliver the events programme. She has connected with charities such as the local food bank and Acorns Hospice, and above all, she is connected with the community she serves to place the library at the very heart of local life.
It's the second national award for Sandwell Libraries in the last 12 months. Back in October 2015, the Mobile Library won the Best Small Mobile Library Award presented by the Chartered Institute of Library and Information Professionals. So well done to Julie McCurdy and Thimbleman Library.
Keep our local libraries going, that's
Absolutely,
what I say. Now next, the Brambles and Tree Zone are trying to raise money to put in security measures which they say will help to stop the vandalism that they've been subject to recently. The centre offers children... Hey.
All right.
Sorry. The centre offers children's services and acts as a support link for many parents.
Now their target is £400, which isn't a huge amount, but it'll help the community group, the children that attend and their parents. So if you want to find out what it's all about, you can visit their Facebook page, which is facebook.com/groups/treezone. Anyway, that's what we found pinned to this week's community notice board.
Have you been sitting there hoping that we'd mention something, or do you know of something coming up that we should be talking about?
Yeah, tell us. Get in touch. Make sure you let us know in plenty of time, though.
So how do you get in touch? Well, there's many ways, but your best bet is to email us via the postbag. That's hello@bigcentre.tv.
Hello. Or if social media is your thing, then you can look us up and send us a message. We are at Big Centre TV.
Or put a letter. Now, what's one of those things? I remember seeing those years ago. Anyway, if you like to write, put a letter in the post to the Community Notice Board, Big Centre, 14A Lower Hall Lane, Walsall, WS1 1RL.
And we'll have more for you at the same time next week. Now, given that we're in an auditorium now, I think the film's about to start.
I know, yeah.
Popcorn.
Yeah, I've
good.
done it.
Okay, see you later. Okay, we're going to take a short break now. There's plenty still to come. And of course, we'll be seeing what you've been saying to us as well. What a tongue twister that line is. I'll see you in a few minutes. Welcome back. It's the Big Magazine with you for a Sunday here on Big Centre. Now, still to come, we're going to take a look at how you've been connecting with us this week. But first, we're going to turn to the milk bar. No, as I said, all the time, I'm not going to order myself a milkshake. It would be nice. I wonder if anybody could do that for me. No, it's a new feature that we're running on the Big Magazine. Now, my old mate, Jason Forrest, has been presenting the Milk Bar as a radio show and a podcast for the past 8 years. It's a show that reflects what's happening in and around Wolverhampton. So let's see who he's been talking to recently.
At the Malvern Autumn Show, and Mark Stinchcombe is down here. Now, current title holder, the 2015 winner of MasterChef, and of course, gardening is vitally important when it comes to the kitchen.
Yeah, it's massively. Like, all the veg comes through the garden, and we've got a great garden at Eckington Manor, so we kind of get this incredible sense of feeling when you go up and you pull the vegetables yourself, or you speak to the gardeners and say, oh, what's coming through the ground. So it's brilliant to kind of keep the gardening involved with the cooking, because it works so seamlessly.
And is there often anything you say, I need you to put this and plant this border out with these because I want to cook with that?
Yeah, we've come up with eucalyptus, different times, different types of herbs and everything like that. It's becoming trendy now to kind of use different kind of herbs and things like that. So we kind of asked the gardeners to do those.
And when it came to entering MasterChef, obviously that seal of approval on the Eckington restaurant, that is good. But you must have known you were going to do well in something because of the reactions to the customers when you're actually cooking for them.
I did it to kind of showcase what me and Sue were doing at Eckington Manor and just kind of draw people in. I thought I'd do well, but I didn't think I'd win. I thought I'd get to a certain point, but I never thought I'd win it.
And when it comes to doing a cooking demonstration, something like the Malvern Autumn Show, that's somewhat different to either doing the TV work or doing the work in the restaurant. It's very much a one-to-one with the audience sat in front of you, and it must be great working in the cookery theatre down here for something like that.
Oh, it's massively different. I enjoy being behind a stove and a pass and kind of plating my food in my environment. So when you go out to the shows and kind of, especially this one, where the customer is so close to you, it's really engaging and kind of you feel a real sense of them and what they want and what they're enjoying.
And when it comes to having a signature dish, obviously when you've done so many for TV and had to be so creative, is there still something though that is very much your thing that you liked with the one that does?
Eckington has got an incredible herd of Highland and Hereford beef cattle, so we kind of use the beef as our main kind of signature. We use all the ribeyes, the fillets, the sirloins, and then we braise the shin, use the cheeks, and we also do something called a charcoal emulsion, so we kind of make a barbecue flavour to get like mayonnaise to go with the beef.
And again, something slightly different, but that's the joy of having complete control when it comes down to what's served.
Yeah, and kind of us being able to put our food at the forefront of the kind of what Eckington is driving is really kind of inspiring to us to kind of create the dishes that are personally and kind of businessly attached to the restaurant and kind of really pushing forward.
So a big thing is keeping it local and making sure that food is served the best it can be.
Yeah, we're massive on the local and flavoursome food, and we're in the Vale of Evesham, so we have an incredible growing society around us that we can kind of pick and choose what we want at any time of the year. So it's an amazing kind of place that we're in and an amazing time of year.
So what comes next? You've done MasterChef. Is there anything else on the horizon that you quite fancy doing?
I think taking it easy for a year was my next. After that, me and Sue had only just got married after MasterChef had won, so kind of this year has just been about enjoying ourselves and kind of it's pushing the restaurant forward and hoping to achieve accolades and things like that, and just trying to gain a sense of environment and kind of pushing Eckington forward.
So if people do want to find out more about Eckington itself, have you got a website?
Yeah, it's eckingtonmanor.co.uk. We've also got a Twitter and Facebook page, which we're kind of actively on.
Yeah, and if people just search for you, I mean, you are a tweeting chef now, aren't you?
Yeah, that's a massive part of the industry now, and kind of you need to really get on it. It's taken me a long time to kind of learn how to do it. I hated it, and it was actually one of the finalists who actually set me up on Twitter, and now I've overtaken him. So
that's the way to do it.
That's the way.
A bit of healthy competition.
Yeah, the chefs are competition mad. So any kind of competition of who can get the most followers on Twitter is a great one.
And just finally, any new dishes you're working on that you can talk about at the moment, or is it all strange things in the pipeline that are going to remain secret?
No, we love kind of changing things through seasonally. We've just gone through all the plums through a plum souffle, but we're also now working on a lovely orange clementine, a marmalade dish with bitter chocolate sorbet.
Well, Mark, good luck for the future, and thanks for having a chat with us.
Thank you.
So then, let's move on to some of the messages we've received this week, and it's been a bit of a busy week for us, I can tell you that. Now, Dave Wiggy Wiggins has been in touch, and he says, "Hi, Big Centre. Hi. Your Big Centre should broadcast to Worcester and Hereford, as well as the West Midlands on Freeview and Virgin. Come on, please do broadcast Big Centre to Worcester and Hereford. Please, that would be good." Do you know what? We'd actually be really pleased if we could broadcast our station all over the world. We'd really love the station that you're watching to become the best local television station in the world, and that is really what we're trying to do. However, because of the way that these things work, technically we can only broadcast this station officially to Birmingham, Solihull and the Black Country at the moment, because that's what the licence is for. However, as you probably know, you can watch us anywhere online in the UK, www.bigcentre.tv. And watch this space, because there are some very exciting things coming your way very soon. Rob Tompkins has been in touch with an email to say, hello. I watch many shows on your channel, some great old shows there, some really good memories. My favourite is They Don't Make Them Like This Anymore. I really enjoy the summaries by the lady who introduces it. Unfortunately, I don't know her name, he says. Her sense of humour is great. Could you pass on my appreciation? Long may this series and this brilliant channel go on. All the best, from Rob. Aha, well, I can tell you exactly who that lady is. It's Julie Pickering. Now, our Jules was with us right from the very beginning, and she recently left us to go work for a very high-profile business in Birmingham. But she loves the B movies so much that she decided she wanted to carry on doing them. So she does. And she really does know what she's talking about when it comes to that sort of thing. Oh, and one other thing about Jules. She's best friends with Boston Bear. Now, Mark Martin has sent us an email to say, Hi. I would just like to say how much I've enjoyed watching Carib Asian Cookery Programme. Are you doing another series? Well, if you watched this very slot a couple of weeks ago, you'll have seen someone else asking almost exactly the same question. And the good news is that Carib Asian Cookery is going to be here for some time yet to come. I do know that. As for another series, well, I imagine that to keep getting such a good reaction to the shows, chances are looking very good. In fact, because we know how popular Carib Asian Cookery is, I thought I'd let you know a few ways in which you can keep up to date with what Patrick Hart and Sherry Eugene Hart are up to. You can find them on Instagram, which is www.instagram.com/Carib Asian Cookery, or one word. On Twitter, they are @Carib Asian. And on Facebook, they are facebook.com/Carib Asian Cookery. And finally, their website is www.carib-asian.com. You see, plenty of ways to keep up to date with them. And yes, it is going to continue. Now, more support this week for Tom Ross on the Goal Zone, Friday nights at 6, including from Emma Humphreys, who says, "So good to hear the legend Tom Ross. Missed listening to you so much." Well, there you go. You can listen to him and hear him right here on Big Centre Friday nights at 6 o'clock. And finally, you'll have no doubt heard about the changes coming to this station very soon. Now, we're saying goodbye to Big Centre and hello to Made in Birmingham. And it's all part of our drive to improve our service to you. Now, I know that there are a lot of things planned already. It's feeling very exciting. So all I can say is watch this space, because we're going to be better than ever before. So there you go. If you'd like to get in touch with us, maybe you just want to say hi, get your name on the telly, or perhaps you want to send someone a nice message on the telly. Perhaps it's someone's birthday, whatever. Then on social media, we are at Big Centre TV. And you can find us under that name on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. Plus, of course, you can email us, hello@bigcentre.tv. And don't forget, we do have a couple of other Twitter feeds that you can keep in touch with. The one for sport is @Big Centre Sport. Simple. Or if you just want to write to us, then the address for anything at all, Big Centre, 14A, Lower Hall Lane, Walsall, WS1 1RL. And that's your Big Magazine for Sunday. You can catch the Big Magazine on Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. Then we're back with more on Sundays, also at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. Now, during the week, the news is with you at 10 and 1:30. Then again, 5 till 6 and 8:30. And it all includes big sport from our studios at Edgbaston Stadium. Now, I'll be seeing you again during the week on our big quiz with Norman Bartlam. You can play along with us on Tuesdays and Thursday evenings at 6. And you can catch it again on Wednesday and Friday afternoons. And also in the middle of the night as well. Then I'll see you back here, same time, same place next week. So then, thanks for watching this weekend. I'll see you later. Try a bit.